8:08. Good morning. Donna Allos looking after things for Malcolm Boyden today. And love it or hate it, the date is coming up very, very soon. Are you planning to send any Valentine's cards this year? Time of love and romance. All before you get married, though. and then it all stops. Now, the act of giving a Valentine's card is traditionally an anonymous one. You write out a lovely, romantic message to the object of your affection and you send it off. Signed, Guess Who? ? Or maybe even Swark. Sealed with a loving kiss. Took me a long time to know what that was. But how would you feel about sending a Valentine to someone you've never met or even seen? Well, now you can. It's all thanks to the Great British Valentine. It's a new project aiming to spread a bit of joy and happiness throughout the world. Amy Pollard is the brains behind the operation. She's the founder of the charity, the Mental Health Collective. I spoke to her a little earlier on and she told me how it all works.
At the Mental Health Collective, we are organising a random acts of kindness project called the Great British Valentine. So random acts of kindness are really good for your mental health. Like if you're giving, it can really help you reduce your isolation and just feel a bit more connected to people. And we thought, like, given that everyone's talking about like how horrible things are in Britain right now, we just wanted to kind of rebalance the picture and say, you know what, like the kindness and the goodwill in Britain hasn't gone away. So why don't we organise a kind of secret Santa Valentine project where you can send a card with a message of goodwill to someone you don't know and then receive a card yourself.
Do you know what? I absolutely love this idea. I've seen your video on your website, which is amazing.
Thank you.
And do you know what? I love the fact that you're right. There's so much negativity at the moment. It's difficult not to sort of get drawn into it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And also, I find Valentine's Day, like my 8-year-old is already talking about cards and stuff. And I think Valentine's Day can be quite a sad day for people because
Absolutely.
It's
easily like the most rubbish festival. Because like if you're in a couple, it just feels like a pressure. And then if you're on your own, it makes you feel sad and lonely. But like if you look at the way other countries do it, so in Mexico, it can be about romantic love, but it's also about friendship and goodwill, like in a much broader sense. And in Finland as well, apparently, like it's called like the 14th of February is Friendship Day. So like let's not limit ourselves. Let's like allow it to be a time when you can celebrate just good vibes as well as romance.
So how can people get involved? What's the way to sort of go about doing it?
So you come to the Mental Health Collective's website and you can register there and then you need to do your registration by the 4th of February, but then we'll do some admin on our side and we will get in touch to allocate someone for you to send a card to and also a different person who will send a card to you. And then you send ideally a homemade card. Because obviously you can't buy appropriate Valentine's cards to send to strangers, or we do have a pre-prepared one on our website if you're not into a homemade card, if you're not that kind of person. And then, you just send it off to your unknown match by the 14th of February, and hopefully you'll receive a card yourself. Yeah.
Now, it sounds like a brilliant idea, and I love the way you say that sort of random acts of kindness can help mental health. Have you found that in the past that people can sort of get buoyed by someone just doing something nice?
Absolutely. I mean, like I would never pretend that this is, a project that's going to sort of change the world or, that it's some kind of magic wand for people who are in real distress. But, I've had lots of mental health challenges in my life. And, sometimes it is those small things. They just make you feel more human. They make you feel like other people, do care, even just in a small way, that you're not on your own. And I think if you're suffering from mental health difficulties, which many of us are, that's the key thing to remember, that you're not on your own.
Now, how does this project fit in with the wider work of the Mental Health Collective? What other stuff do you do?
So So we specialise in the social and collective dimensions of mental health. There's some absolutely phenomenal work in the mental health sector, thinking about like the biological aspects of mental health, which are hugely important, the psychological aspects of mental health. But there has historically there's been much less attention and innovation to around like how our social relationships and the social context of our lives, culture and the way we live collectively as a society has a bearing on our well-being and our mental health. And we want to like draw out those social dimensions and see if we can catalyse more innovation and more understanding and reflection on how you could unlock the potential of those kinds of approaches in addition to the other tools that are out there.
Well, Amy Pollard, it sounds like an amazing initiative, and I really, really hope it takes off. People who want to get involved, then go to your website, just search for the Mental Health Collective. If you can't remember the website, all the details will be on there, and hopefully we can spread a little bit of joy and happiness on Valentine's Day.
Why not?
Well, exactly. Why not? It's not all about the grand flowers and gestures. Sometimes just a little bit of kindness can go a long way. So, Amy Pollard, thank you so much for joining me this morning on BBC Hereford and Worcester.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you for having me.
BBC Hereford and Worcester.